Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel. My name is Magic, and today we're going to be doing a tarot card reading on Marilyn Monroe. I'll be asking various questions just to kind of see, how she felt about her life, so the circumstances surrounding her death, and her relationship with JFK and Joe DiMaggio. So if you would like to, skip around, I'm going to leave the timestamps in the description box below, but we'll just get into it. Marilyn Monroe, how do you feel about your life and how it turned out? Marilyn Monroe, how do you feel about your life and how it turned out? Marilyn Monroe, how do you feel about your life and how it turned out? Oh. So, honestly, this was someone who was stuck between emotions and the material world. It's as if though like their mind was pulled into different directions, and it seemed to be based off the material world and emotions, but it seemed as if though the emotions were on the side of lack and the material abundance was, the material world was on more of the abundance, or on the side of abundance. And where her mind was, or where her thought process was between the two, and trying to find peace between the two. And it's almost as if though there was like this sadness of not being able to find this equal ground between having the world and having love within that world. It's almost as if she really had to choose which one that she wanted, or really was kind of torn. It's like you can't have both. You have to choose one. And if I were to choose one, I would choose the material world over love. Because it seems as if though her whole life, love has escaped her. And the material world is something that is more stable and more tangible and more easy and more accessible than love. And it's almost as if though, even though that she had that abundance to some degree and was well known and famous for her beauty, it just wasn't enough. It's almost as if she was alone, living in her own world, trapped in her own mind. And I feel like people had like this idea of her, or this ideal of her, but not really seeing the real her. It's as if though she was living in her own space, in her own mind, like in another planet by herself. And it's as if though no one was there. No one saw her for who she was. People only saw her for what they could gain off of her, and saw her for what she could bring to the table, or saw her for her beauty, or it was more so material outweighed anything else in her life. And it's like, even if she tried to have love, it never lasted. Even if she tried to feel love, she can never really truly feel the love that she needed. And it's as if people didn't love her the way that she needed to be loved. Now, And it's like she almost used her beauty to kind of fill that void of having true love, because sometimes, people surround themselves but around people that they feel are physically attractive, and people tend to um, develop fake friendships or give fake love or have fake relationships because of that outward exterior. But it's almost as if though that's the only way that she could really truly have any closeness with anybody in this world. At least that's what it kind of feels like. And it feels like no one really saw her for her because of her outward exterior and what she could bring to the table with that outward exterior. And it's like, if she didn't have that beauty, then she would have nothing at all, because now she doesn't have that love, and now she doesn't have the adoration and affection from everyone that looks up to her or looks at her because of the way she physically looks. But there's this emotional aspect that's missing, and it's as if though inside she's like in this deserted island, or like this planet all by herself where there's no one else there, and it's like this void that she could never really fill or never have fulfilled, because it's this barrier between who she looks like, or who she's represented as far as her looks, and then there's the person that's inside who feels empty. Because you have like this, okay, and it's crazy because you have this 9 of voices, and this is oh, you guys can't really see, but this 9 of voices, this is like the 9 of swords, and this is somebody who's always constantly thinking about something or has something on their mind. And in this picture, the way it's divided is as if though half the thoughts are going in one direction, and then the other thoughts are going in the opposite direction. And then in one side you have the 10 of emotions, which is basically the 10 of cups, and it's in reverse. And on the other side you have 10 of materials, which is the 10 of pentacles. And it's like the emotions or the emotional state took a back burner to her physical state in the material world, and like being able to have all that the world has to offer, or what society makes seem to be what it is we should be achieving on the physical plane, or what it should look like to everybody else, or like the American dream or the white picket fence. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost as if though that was the most favorable thing for her, is the look, and not necessarily having that reflected in her inner being. Okay, if that makes sense. Marilyn Monroe, how do you feel about your life and how it turned out? This is somebody who was really honestly in not the most stablest emotional states. The emotional state was not the most stable, if that makes sense. Like, it just was not the most stable. I honestly feel like there was some type of control there as far as other people. I feel like it was easy to control her, or people had more control of her than she had of herself. And it's as if though she was more like easy to manipulate or easy to control. And it's like she never really had that control over herself. It's almost as if though she was like in this sleep awake state, almost like this dazed state of like being awake but not necessarily being awake, or like living a life and not necessarily living it. It's almost as if though like I don't know if you know what disassociation feels like, but it's almost like living your life through a movie, and you're living it, but it feels like physically someone else is living that life. And that's kind of like what I'm getting. It's like it's almost like she's always lived this life of where she's been like in this dazed state of like, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean that, she's always under the influence, but it's like one of those things where you live your life, but it's almost as if you're living it in third person, as you're watching it being lived out by your body, but you're not really being present in it. And that could be like a coping mechanism, but it's almost like not really wanting to be attached to reality. Yeah, it's like almost not really wanting to be attached to reality. And this really does stem from childhood. This really does stem from like, it's just like this emptiness that that the childhood has really kind of left like this imprint um on her, or has left that imprint on her, to where it's like she has those emotional and mental ties to that past, and it's stuck with her. It's like this an adult being a child, but an adult not being able to function as an adult because they're still in this childlike state, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it's like this adult who is an adult, you know what I mean? But they're not really, because they are still stuck in this emotional state from childhood. So it's like they can't really live this adult life. It's like they're almost like a child in an adult body. This is somebody who really needed to have some type of honestly, some type of therapy. Really, because there's like a lot of trauma from childhood that really like played a big part in how her life kind of panned out. It's so weird here, because it's almost as if like she's always like in between two states of being. Because you have like the Knight of Materials here, which is Knight of Pentacles. Then you have the Two of Emotions, and then you have the Knight of Voices. I feel like there's two major loves here, or I was gonna say it. I feel like there's two major loves here, and or it's like in her love life, there was always like these two polar opposites, right? And it's like she was at one end and anybody that she ever dated was at another end. It's almost like oil and water when they come together. Like oil has this really thick layer and then underneath like the water sits, right? But they never really they meet, they touch, but they don't necessarily mix together. And it's always like they come together and then they drift apart. And it kind of leaves her in this state of, I don't know, it kind of goes back, it makes it turns his head back to childhood. Like when these relationships happen the way they do, or when these relationships happen the way they did, it's almost as if like the behavior or the repetitiveness of these relationships reflect back to the childhood, and the childhood reflects back to these relationships. It's like there was some unstableness and unsteadiness in the childhood, so there will always be some unstableness and unsteadiness as far as in relationships, because it's almost as if in her life water and oil cannot mix. They don't go together. It's almost they can touch, but they can't mix. And I think that's like one of the most like saddest things, because you know, we always want to be in a place where we can really have that love, to where you know, we're actually in a relationship with someone where it sticks, like where we're like almost as one, you know. And it's almost like water and sugar. When you put sugar in water, it dissolves, right? And that's kind of, and it becomes one solution. That's kind of what the hope is for majority of people. But it seems like in her life, like that is like kind of the it's like a sequence, it's a pattern, it does not like it, that's just the pattern of her life, you know. And it's just because there's like trauma and stuff from the childhood that's not resolved. So you have that consistency to where it's just never that meshing, and it's almost as if though it's almost as if though there's like some self-sabotage or self-destruct in order to keep one safe. You can never really necessarily let yourself get too close, no matter how much of no matter how much you really do mesh with a person, or not, or no matter how much you guys are almost exactly the same. It's as if though you can't let the relationship be cohesive, because if you do, you be too afraid that someone won't love you the way, or someone won't love the real you, or someone won't love you outside of what you physically have to offer, or outside of what everybody else deems as like beautiful or whatever. It's like trying to save face value, because if that person got to know who she really was inside, they may not love her and they may go away. So I just protect myself by not necessarily being able to be emotionally vulnerable and open. So I'll just create havoc in my life and in my relationships, so that way things don't necessarily come together the way they should be, like sugar and water. All right, so that was a long. So I think I'm going to move into let's figure out like what happened as far as her death. Okay, so Marilyn Monroe Was there foul play in your passing? Was there foul play in your passing? I feel like there was a lot of information that she knew about a lot of different people. Um, and I just don't feel like any of these people really wanted her to expose any of the information that she knew about them. Um, it seemed to be like there was a lot of information that she knew, a lot of things that she's seen, a lot of things that she heard. So it's a lot of stuff that she knew about the industry and about people and about higher ups. There's a lot of information that she knew about people that, if it were put out there, could destroy these people, or could destroy the image of these people. And I just don't think that this is information that they wanted to be put out there. I definitely feel like this is information about people who were in the industry, people that she worked with, people that she worked around. And I just feel like this put her in a. I feel like this. It's almost like I want to say it's almost like being put in a depressive state um over this. Because I feel like knowing this information really put her like at a disadvantage. And I want to say it put her at a disadvantage as far as her career. Um and it put her at a disadvantage as far as like trying to reestablish who Marilyn Monroe is and what Marilyn Monroe has to offer as far as um, getting back into um, the entertainment industry. I just feel like there was some type of like um, blackballing type energy here, to where there is too much information that she knew, um, that could that she possibly, I don't know, and there could be some information that she had surrounding someone that she was in a previous relationship with, and there could have been kind of like money to kind of keep things like on a hush mode. But I just don't know if she completely like kept her mouth shut. I think there could have been like slip ups or things that could have came out. Um, but this is definitely has to do with someone that she was in a relationship with, someone who I feel like this is someone who kind of had it all going for themselves. Yeah, this is someone who had it all going for themselves. I feel like they had the money, they had the looks, they had the power. It's almost as if the world kind of revolved around them. Like um, this is something that she knew a lot about this person. And I feel like it put her in a place to where she really could not get back into the industry the way she would like, because I feel like there was some sort of trying to reinvent herself, some sort of trying to like come back into the game the way she originally came in it. And I just kind of feel as if though there was some type of energy here that was kind of preventing her from fully achieving that, because of some of the information that she knew about a particular person. And there could have been some kind of slip ups when it comes to withholding this information. And I just kind of feel like it's like being in a place of sadness, because she wasn't able to be really exactly who she wanted to be in life. I just feel like, everything, like, it's almost like her life was really like a revolving door. It's like, no matter if she kept going through the door, and it's like she went through the same door continuously, expecting a different outcome, and then when she went through the door, she ended up in the same place. And it's almost like, being in a place of being overwhelmed, because not being able to kind of like move past that same spot that you keep ending up in. It's like wanting to move past that, but not being able to do so. And it's almost like this pattern that her life kind of continued to spiral down. And I kind of feel like with this energy of not being able to really kind of break into the scene the way she wanted to, because of the information that she had, I really feel like this put her in a place of 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 sadness. Um, hmm. Marilyn Monroe. What led to your passing? What led to your passing? I just feel like almost being like the outcast. And it's like everybody like seeing past you, seeing through you, as if though like you're talking and someone goes like, did you hear something? Or you know what I mean? Like someone just like, are people just like putting you on the back burner, or just looking past you as if though you don't even exist. Um, and it's like not even being able to have any type of opportunity. And I don't feel like there was any opportunity to kind of move forward in her life, in her career. And I just kind of feel like there was some kind of um I feel like there was some type of argument. um I feel like there was some type of argument. And I feel like this argument comes from someone who kind of had this like control over her, and just kind of control over the direction of her life. I just kind of feel like this she was like at a point, like a standstill, stuck at a wall or something like that. Like it's almost like she couldn't get past this situation, because there was someone, I'm telling you, that she just knew too much. And I just think that maybe she talked a little bit too much. So there's people like in the industry that kind of have her at a standstill, to where there's not a whole lot that she can do. And I feel like this is all that she knows how to do. um, and it's almost like trying to kind of force yourself through a door that's not going to open. And even if it did open, it would lead you back to the same place over and over and over again. So I really do feel like uh, there was a combination of really being in a place of depression, because it's like the only thing that you have that you know how to do well, or at least the only thing that you have that you know that's worked for you in the past, is no longer working. And there's no option for you to kind of move forward. And it's almost like, well, what do I do now? And it's like, what do I do now? What do I have now? Like, it's almost like, not having the love portion, not having the love portion is one. Um, and then not being able to advance in your career is another thing. And then on top of it, it's like not being able to um participate in motherhood, because I feel like there was like a child here, and there could have been like some kind of what do you call that, abortion or forced abortion. um and I just feel like it's almost like a combination of those things, to where I just need a break. I need to step away. I need to not think for a second. I need to not feel for a second. And I need to be able to just relax and detach and be as far away from the situation as possible. Um, Marilyn Monroe, give me 3 more cards surrounding your death. I just feel like there's some information that she really knew, like some deep information that she had about people that were in higher places. Um, that, I feel like this is something that she's either wanted to express and get off her chest and she couldn't, or it's like they didn't want her to. And I honestly feel like she tried to hold it together for as long as possible. Um, I feel like she really tried to hold it together for as long as possible. I honestly feel like she was really trying to like fight some inner demons. Like, she had like a whole lot going on. I just don't think that it was like necessarily one thing that kind of led to her passing. I just feel like it was a culmination of things, to where she just kind of needed like a emotional and a mental break, And I just think uh, and I honestly feel like this was like a place where she kind of wanted to um be at a place where she can put like these emotions like in like little cups, right? Little cups, to where she can come back later and then digest each one at a time. You know what I mean? So it won't be so much or too overwhelming. And I just kind of feel like a lot of this was overwhelming. And there's something about um being pregnant here, or something about like a miscarriage or an abortion, and it really has to do um, with somebody here that was in a higher place. Um, and I just don't think that she could have had that. I'm just hearing like an illegitimate child. Like, I just don't think she could have had that child. Um, and I just feel like all of these things, and then there's just like there's a lot of secrets there as well. There's a lot of secrets there as well. And I feel like if these secrets were to come out, it would definitely, it would definitely um, make a lot of people look bad. Hmm. You know what is weird? I There's something weird here because I just feel as if though, yes, it's something that she did, but I also feel like, was this like a forced overdose or like a forced um situation to where um it's almost as if it looks as if it would have looked as if she did this herself, but not necessarily, or she did it herself, or it was almost forced. So, because I'm seeing like two different color hands here. Um, you guys might not be able to see it because of the lighting. But it's like one darker colored hand is holding the other hand. And it's almost as if like like yes, I did it, but there's help from someone else, or there's an involvement with someone else as well, as far as the overdosing and the death is um involved. Like I just feel like there's something else or someone else there. um hmm. I don't know, you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. That's some weird shit. Um, let's see. What else? What else do I want to ask? Let's see. What was your relationship like with JFK? What was your relationship like with JFK? What was your relationship like with JFK, Marilyn Monroe? Uh-oh. This is not necessarily somebody that she can really be with, nor is this necessarily someone that she can necessarily trust. I feel like this is someone who like kind of watched her every move and made sure that she didn't step out of line as far as her involvement with him. Um, and I feel like she had a lot of emotions towards JFK. But I almost feel as if though he was kind of like um in a place to where he couldn't really express his emotions, so he kind of came off as dark and cold and kind of covered what he really kind of felt. And I feel like that really hurt her. I really feel like that kind of just didn't really sit right with her. Like that was really like um very painful for her, for the fact as of like I feel like she had emotions toward JFK, but I feel like he wasn't in a position to be able to express that. And I feel like she she was more willing to be open and honest and being and expressing how she felt. And I feel like, you know, that abandonment kind of took her back to her childhood, and not being able to receive kind of like the love that she really kind of needed. um and I just feel like it's almost like seeking for love in the wrong places. um and I just don't feel like this is really a relationship that really could be spoke of. I really don't think this is something that could be um shown really too much in the public eye. um hmm. I'm not sure if JFK. I don't know if there was somebody else. There's someone else here, as far as JFK is involved, and there's two. Okay, there's a dark haired woman. There is a dark haired woman. Um, and then there is a blonde haired woman. And I just feel like this dark haired woman, right, is really like cutthroat. Like she's a really cutthroat as far as um like it, yeah, she's like really cutthroat. And I just don't think, and I think there is some form of jealousy of Marilyn Monroe. I really do. I really do. But I feel like JFK had like two different women, okay? And I feel like the one with the dark hair, she's more like clean cut, more pristine, more like I don't know. Like I guess she just has like a little bit more power, or just uh more higher more higher up than Marilyn Monroe. But I just feel like that aspect is there. Okay, it's like two women and then him. And but I just feel like Marilyn Monroe was on the side of where he couldn't really um express his emotions toward her. um like he just that wasn't gonna happen. um and I just don't know if Marilyn Monroe really ever got over this. You know what I mean? I think it got to a point where she got it. You know what I mean? That this wasn't going anywhere. You know, but at the same time, I feel like there's just something that she kind of held on to this, because I really think that she felt as though at some point in time that this could be something really really solid, or this is something that could grow into something really really solid. But I think over time, she realized that this wasn't going to go nowhere. Um, but there's just something about this dark haired lady, or dark haired woman, who's just more of a bitch, if that if that makes sense. She's just more cutthroat, and she's more like has more uh of a title than Marilyn Monroe has. You know, like I just feel like I think it kind of comes off as she has like more importance than Marilyn Monroe. Um, I don't know. That's really weird. If y'all know who that is, y'all let me know. All right, so I'm gonna do um, one more question. So, Marilyn Monroe, how do you feel, or how did you feel about Joe DiMaggio? Marilyn Monroe, how did you feel about Joe DiMaggio? Marilyn Monroe, how did you feel about Joe DiMaggio? Marilyn Monroe, how do you feel, or how did you feel about Joe DiMaggio? I honestly feel like that relationship with Joe DiMaggio kind of took her out of a dark place, to be honest. I feel like it's almost as if though she just took a chance on him. I'm not sure if she like felt like it would go anywhere, but it's almost like she took a chance on him. And then it like kind of turned out to be, more than what met the eye. And I feel like there's something that she kind of wanted to hold on to. But it's one of those relationships that kind of needed to be nurtured. And I don't know if I kind of feel like maybe the relationship kind of took a back burner to work, or trying to work, or it's something about work. I just feel like the relationship kind of took a back burner to work. And I feel like that's something that she regrets. I feel like that's something that she regrets, is allowing um, work to take a back burner to her relationship with Joe DiMaggio, because that is where she found uh, some form of love and some form of stability. There was just something a little bit different about that relationship that she had with him. Um, and I feel like it brought her out of a dark place. And I don't feel like whatever it is that she was looking for, as far as work wise, and as far as um, Hollywood goes, I just don't think that really brought her that fulfillment. And I just feel like uh, that was something that she really kind of regretted doing, because I feel like more of her emotional fulfillment, or she would have felt more emotionally fulfilled in this relationship. And I also feel like he loved her as well. He loved her as well, but there was like some kind of lack of confidence when it comes to the relationship between them two. It's not like the emotions weren't there. The emotions were truly, truly there, but it's like putting love in the back burner for like career and finances, but there also not being enough confidence in order to keep this relationship cohesive and together. Um, Marilyn Monroe, give me 3 more cards surrounding your emotions, or how you feel about Joe DiMaggio. I feel like there was some like regret of not necessarily having children in this particular relationship. I mean, her actually um having like a full on family in this relationship. Um and it just kind of almost goes back to childhood. It's almost like a self-sabotaging energy. Kind of when I look at this, it's almost like wanting to have a family and being in love, but then also at the same time not wanting to really get too close. You know what I mean? Still being guarded, still being like not sure of letting someone in because you're not knowing if they're going to, walk away from you or leave you. Um, it's almost like this this like she has like this safety blanket from childhood that kind of prevents her from really going full force into a relationship or staying in a relationship. Um, I don't know, you guys. It just a lot. Like I just feel like she went through a lot, had always had a lot going on, and it's always like just from childhood all the way up until she passed. It's always have been something, and not really uh, kind of getting past like that stuff from childhood, and it really really directed her life and had a stronghold over her life. But anyways, I'm gonna leave that reading where it is, and I will catch you guys in another video.